The terminal, often referred to as the command line interface, is a program that lets you interact with the computer without clicking on things using the mouse. It has existed since the 90s and is still widely used today by software developers and computer enthusiasts worldwide. What's the point of knowing how to use a terminal, you might ask? The applications or video games you build won't interact with files, folders, or perform other actions on the computer using a screen with icons, so knowing how to do these things without a graphical user interface gives you a better understanding of them and how they will work in whatever you're building. Hi, I'm Victor. Let's explore the terminal today on height above sea level. We'll be using the Windows terminal for this video, but some of these commands are similar to what you have on Mac, but for now we're going to use Windows. And in order to use the Windows terminal, you'll come down here into search. If you're on Windows 11, this is what your search bar is going to look like. But if you're on Windows 10, it'll probably be closer to the left. But same functionality, click here, then type command. You should see the suggestion command prompt, but if you don't, then you can just type the whole thing command prompt and it'll show it to you. And then when I click that, it should open it. And there we have it. This is the terminal that comes with Windows. I'm going to make this bigger so that we can see it clearly. And the first thing you can do is if the text is too small, you can come up here, right click that, properties, and then come here to font and change that to, let's change it to 36 just in case there's someone watching on mobile phone and the text is too small for them. Click OK, and the text is bigger. That's how you change the font. Now, the next thing you're going to wonder is, what's all this? What's this C:users Victor? And that right there is a path to the file of the user who signed in. And how do I know this? I can maybe move this down and I can open the file explorer. That's this one. And if you don't have it pinned down here, just go over here, type File Explorer, and it'll show it to you. That's the same thing, I have it pinned, so I'll just click from down here. So now we're in the File Explorer, and I'm going to pin this to the right side, and I'm going to have this to the left side, so we can have them side by side. All right, so this is C drive, users folder, Victor. If I do that on this side, it's going to be, there's my C drive. And then if I look over here, I have a bunch of files, a bunch of folders. Then I come here to users and Victor. That's the folder I'm currently in. And the first thing I'm going to do is, I'm going to go back here, press escape to get rid of this square. Every time you click around, it shows up, but you can press escape and that gets rid of it. And then I come over here and I will press dir, which stands for directory. So dir, like that, it lists to me all the directories or all the folders. Directory is just a fancy word for folder. So if you're confused by that, then there's your explanation. I have a video explaining these programming terms in simple ways for you to understand. I will link to the top right of your screen. But for now, here we are. We have the folders in this Victor folder. If you look over here, we have contacts, we have desktop, we have documents, downloads. And if you look on the right side, contacts, desktop, documents, downloads, favorites, heaven, and all the folders in here. The Victor folders are the same ones as the ones we have in here. So why don't we look at another command to go into this folder. So let's say I want to go into the test folder for terminal. Over here on the terminal, I can say cd, which means change directory, and then I can type the folder I want to go into. Test folder for terminal. Test folder for, terminal. I press enter. Now I'm in the test folder for terminal. It moved up by itself, but don't worry about that. Let's type dir to see what folders are inside this folder. So dir again, directory means folder, same thing. Press enter. Then I'm going to see it has a directory called food item and another directory called messages. Now let's click in here. Look, food items folder, messages folder. So as you can see, the terminal is just a way that you can navigate through the computer, your PC or your MacBook and find folders, open them, create folders, delete them. And let's say you never had access to the UI or something is wrong. You can open the terminal and you can move around that way, see what files you have and see what's in what folder and run a bunch of commands. This is just the first ones I'm showing you, but there are more on the way. So stay tuned. Now, the other thing that we're going to look at is clearing the screen on the terminal. As you can see now on the terminal, we have all this gunk that we no longer need. So if you want to clear the terminal, you press CLS, which stands for clear screen. If I press enter, now it's cleared everything. So I have a fresh terminal, or everything looks much fresher. It's free of gunk. It's free of all that clutter. and I can start over. And you know I'm on the top because if you look at this, that's the top. The scroll bar is all the way to the top, and that's how you clear the screen. So now we've looked at how we can get into the test folder, this one. But you see, when the UI, I can press this. Now I'm back into the Victor folder over here. So how do I get back into the Victor folder from the terminal? It's very simple. CD 2 periods like that. You press enter. I'm now back inside the Victor folder. If you want proof of this again, you press dir. These are all our folders like we saw before. Let me clear the screen with CLS. Then go back into the test folder for terminal. So test, folder for terminal. There we are. We're inside the test folder terminal. Why don't we make a folder in this test folder for terminal using, you guessed it, the terminal. So I'll go here and I'm going to type mkdir, make directory, which is the same as make folder. So we want to make a folder and we call it floats. If I press enter, it should make a folder on this right side. So keep your eye on this right side. I'm going to press enter, enter. That makes the clothes folder. And we can go inside the clothes folder with CD. There we go. Go inside the clothes folder. By the way, if you want to go up multiple times, let's say if we're in the clothes folder, you want to go up to the test folder for terminal, then you want to go back up again into the Victor folder. You can do so in the terminal this way. You can chain your navigation with change directory, CD. So I'll do CD 2 periods to go into the terminal folder, /2 periods again to go out into the Victor folder. If I press enter, I'm now into the Victor folder. Same thing. If I want to go into the clothes folder, I will say CD test folder for terminal, and then I will go into, oh, by the way, a backslash. This is a /. This is a backslash. Backslash is for path. As you can see, these all use backslashes, so don't confuse that. So a backslash, and then I will say into the clothes folder, enter, and now we're inside the clothes folder. So that's how you navigate back up multiple times or go deep inside a folder multiple times without having to write one command at a time. You can chain them together and you'll end up in the folder that you were looking for. Just a quick heads up, if you're enjoying the video, please consider supporting the channel over on patreon.com/height above sea level. There's exclusive content on C#, game development, and all patrons get a custom Sakura theme for Visual Studio as a thank you for your support. So if you're enjoying the content, please consider becoming a patron and I'll be very grateful. Thank you. So we've made this directory, clothes. Let's look at how you can move a folder or a file into this clothes directory. So if you look over here, inside the food items, we have sample text document. So what I can write in the terminal is move. We're going to get the path. Let me make these bigger so you can see. View, large icons. And we're going to get the path of this file, sample text document. In order to get the path, we'll say right click, copy as path, then come over here. After you type a space, you press right click to paste it. Control C does something else in the terminal and it kills any commands you have running. Press Control C, that's what happens. It kills any command you have running. So that's something to remember. It doesn't copy. If you want to paste in the terminal, you press right click. And that's only if you have something copied to the clipboard. So let's say, back again, move, space, right click. We want to move this path, this file, this one. Where do we want to move it? Space, we want to move it inside the folder, the clothes folder. So again, right click, copy as path. Now we have the path saved to the clipboard. Come here, then right click to paste it. And let's look at the clothes folder. Remember, we're copying it to clothes from where? The food items folder. Now, if you look at this folder is empty right now. If I press enter, there it is. One file moved from the food items folder into the clothes folder. Now, if you go back up into food items, sample.txt is no longer here because we moved it. But if you don't want to move it and you want to copy it, we can do so as well. So if I go to right now we're in the clothes folder, let's go back up into the clothes folder. Now we have this document. Now I can copy this with a, you guessed it, copy command. So copy space, right click on this, copy as path. So we get the path. Where is the source of the what you're copying? It's here. We have its path. Paste it in the terminal, right click. There we go, space. And where do we want to copy it? Remember, copying it creates a copy. It doesn't move it completely. So we want to copy it inside food items. And then again, get the path of the food items folder, right click, copy its path. There we go, right back into the terminal, right click. Now we're copying it into this path, into the food items folder. And if I press enter, let me go back inside here so you can see it. If I press enter, there is the file copied. And if you go back to the clothes, it's still there. It's not moved. And that right there is the copy command. Next up, we can look at how to rename this command. And that's also very simple. You can use REN, or you can say the whole thing if you want to. Rename, whatever floats your boat. And then again, what do you want to rename? Get the path of the file. Right click, copy its path. There you go, you have it. And then over here again, paste it with the right click. There is a file we want to rename. Space, what do you want to rename it? Right now it's called sample text document. We want to rename it to sample document. So I'm going to type sample document and I'm going to press enter. Keep your eye on this. It's going to change to sample document. If I come back here to the terminal and I press enter, it's changed to sample document. And I can keep renaming it to whatever I like. And it's going to show up here as long as I get the path. Remember, you have to get the path of what you want to rename and then paste it. And then after that, space and the name you want to change it to. All right, there you go. So let me clear the screen again because we have a lot of things we don't need up here in the terminal. Clear screen, press enter. There you have it. The screen has been cleared. The next thing we're going to look at is printing the text content of this document. Before we print what's inside this document, let's actually take a look at what's inside this document. So I'll double click. I want to open this with Notepad just once, yes. And as you can see, let me zoom in with Control plus the equal sign. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Hopefully that's big enough and you can see it. So this is the message inside this sample document. And let's see if we can type this in the terminal. And it's very simple. Just remember what this is. And I'm going to keep this here. Maybe I can keep it down here. And keep that over there so you can see everything. This is what's inside the sample document. And if I want to print that on the terminal, I will say type. And then I will get, again, you guessed it, the path. Copy his path over here after you press type, space, and then you paste the name of the document, sample document, the path to document. And if I press enter, it's going to show me everything that's inside this sample document. Hello there, friend. It appears you're interested in learning about the terminal and programming. Maybe I can make this bigger for you to see. Hello there. It appears you're interested in learning about the terminal in programming. Well, you're in luck. And that's the same message that is inside the terminal document. So if you ever want to print something, let's say maybe you're making an application and you just want to see what's inside the text file without having to go all the way into it and opening it, you can print it this way. It's a quick way to print what's inside a text file without having to open it. All right, there we go. I can close this because we're good to go and then move this back again. So we have some more. It covers the right side completely. Next is delete. Let's say you wanted to delete this file. Simple. You can do del to delete, or you can say erase. Those do the same thing. So I'm going to use del and I'm going to get the path again. Remember, you could get the path, right click, or you can press Control plus Shift plus C and then with the space and paste it there. And if you press enter, it's deleted from the right side. The folder is empty. If you want to delete a folder itself, you're going to need another command. And what command is this? Remove directory. Remember, directory is just a folder. And we can say rmdir, remove directory. So let's say you wanted to remove, which directory do you want to remove? Let's say, let's go into the food items directory first. So, because we haven't gone in there, let's go delete this. Go out to the folder for terminal, test folder for terminal, and then forward slash into food items. And now we're in the food items folder. So let's say you wanted to delete, let me go back up. You wanted to delete the clothes folder. We can say rmdir, and then you guessed it, right click, copy the path, come here, right click again, paste, and press enter. That will delete it. Just a heads up that if you're in the folder, if you're in the food items folder, you can't delete the food items folder because you're currently using it and you're going to get an error. So that there is how you delete a folder. A couple of other quick ones before we wrap up. You can also check, let me clear the screen, CLS. You can also check the date and the time. And these are simple. Date, current date is Friday, April 4th, 2024. Now, if we go over here to the right, the bottom over here, Friday, April 26th, 2024, Friday, April 26th, 2024. And you can actually change it. If you want to enter a new date, enter a month, a day, and a year. But if you want to keep it the same way, you can press enter. Another way to get out of that screen is to press Ctrl+C, and that kills any command you have running. Similarly, you can check the time. So if you press time, type time, the current time is 7:31, and I use the military time, that's why it's 19, but it's 7:31 p.m. If I go down here, 7:31 p.m. You can enter a new time, or you can just press enter to keep the current time. Clear screen with CLS. And if you want to see the system info of your current PC, you can press type system info, and that will let you know your processor information, the RAM that you have, the Windows version that you have. And let me make this bigger so you can see everything. And this is system info, the command I typed, and it's given me the system info. The host name is Victor PC, that's mine. Yes, Microsoft Windows 11 is the operating system. You can even tell you the boot time, the manufacturer, the type of motherboard you have, your BIOS version, and other things like even your time zone and how much RAM you have. I have 16 gigs of RAM. And that right there is correct. So that there is system info. One more thing we can look at before we wrap up is color. So you can change the color where you go up here, properties, and you can change the color like that, or you can just change the color like this. And then you put a code like FC. So that is very bright. So how did I know to put FC? Well, if you want to know more about a command, you can type help and then the command's name. So help color command. And that, as you can see here, I'm sorry if this is blinding you, but just bear with me. I'm going to change it back. So it sets the default console foreground and background color. And if you highlight over here, it tells you what color you can choose from. You can choose 0 for black, F is bright white, and C is light red. So that's what I changed it to, bright white background and light red text. But let me remove this back to what it was. If you can go back to what it was, just type color again, press enter, and you're back to where you were. Final thing is, if you want help with any command at all, just type help, and it will list to you all the commands that are available for you to use. And as you can see, we've looked at a couple like cd, displays a name or changes the current directory. We've also looked at CLS. To clear the screen, we have looked at color to change the foreground and background color. We've looked at copy, date, delete, dir, echo, and if you want to exit the terminal, type exit. And these aren't case sensitive. As you can see, you can have them uppercase, you can have them lowercase, whatever floats your boat. You can even have some if commands in here if you know how to program and understand if statements. You can even print a text file if you want. So these are some of the ones we have looked at. And if you ever want to see them again, type help. And if you only want help with a certain command, let's say tree shows the graphical representation of a folder. So if you want to know more about it, you type help tree, and it gives you the information of how to call the command and anything else you'd like to know about the command. And that is it for the terminal. I hope this gave you a good explanation for what the terminal is, how you can use it, and what are some of the limitations and what are some of the use cases in which the terminal can come in handy. But if not, let me know in the YouTube comments if I went too fast or if I missed something, and I will get down there as soon as I can. Again, if you enjoyed the content, please consider becoming a patron on patreon.com/height-above-sea-level for more C# advanced content, tips and tricks like this, and more videos on programming in general. And by the way, again, patrons get a custom Sakura theme for Visual Studio as a thank you. If you do support, thank you so much. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask them over on the Discord channel. The Discord invite is in the description below, and I will get to them as soon as you can. We have a dedicated C# channel and a dedicated developer category you can ask your questions in. But if you'd like a more live experience, I do plan on getting right to streaming on Twitch at twitch.com/avatarvic. So follow there for more live interactive experience. That's all I have for you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, from me to you, deuces.